What's up, all my drivers out there? So I just got back from Vegas, had an incredible time, getting ready to go to the gym because I definitely need to get back into my fitness regimen. Vegas was crazy. But anyway, I've been wanting to film this video for a while because I don't think, with the way things are going now, in kind of a good way, I don't think Express Drive should ever come back. Let's call this Walk and Save. In case you don't know what it is, this came out, I think it was in 2018, I believe, somewhere around that time. And Uber Pool existed. The idea of Uber Pool, in case you don't know, is very common, very popular, where you could have multiple passengers in the same car. It was better for the environment, and also it was cheaper for the passenger. But let's be honest, all drivers hated it, right? Now, Express Drive was a special type of Uber Pool where what it would do is you would order Express Drive and it would be cheaper. Sometimes, I remember there's been some times where Uber Pool would be $30, Express Drive would be like $20. So it would almost be $10 cheaper. And the idea is you could get an Express Drive, or basically the Express Pool, I guess to call it that as well, and it would tell you to walk. So you'd have to walk about 5-ish minutes to where your location was, to a specific pinpoint that it would drop on the map, and then it would drop you off around the same area of where your destination is, and again, it'd roughly be about a 5-minute walk. Now, I'm going to be blunt that on first glance, hey, I mean, walking, let's say, a few minutes down the road to save $10, it's not that bad. However, I think that with the birth of the schedule in advance feature, I feel like that it's just not necessary. Because let's be honest, one, when it comes to Express Drive, it is a little bit dangerous. I mean, if let's say you're going to an area you don't know, I think being picked up and walking somewhere in your neighborhood that's only a few minutes away, that's a little different, right? Because you probably know the area and it's not that big of a deal. However, there were times where I remember I took an Express Pool or an Express Drive just to kind of like check it out, and I get dropped off at some random location. I'd have no idea where I was, and I have to pull up like Google Maps and try to, zigzag around to figure out where I was going. And as you can imagine, if you're getting dropped off and not the best area, Express Drive can be a little sketchy, right? In addition to, let's say if it's raining, if, let's say it's bad weather, if, let's say you don't want to walk, let's say, for example, you have a disability and it's difficult for you to walk. Let's say if it's a group of girls and they're wearing high heels, of course, walking's a little more tricky. So there's a lot of factors when it comes to the walking aspect. In addition to the fact that back in the day when they just announced this, when you pulled up the GUI of Uber or Lyft, it was like the first option. So it was kind of annoying that you might order it without knowing or without thinking, and you're like, great, now I have to walk a few minutes down the road, which again, is not that big of a deal, but I think just given the logistics of being dropped off, especially at a place that you don't know where it is, having to find your way around, that can be a little annoying. Now, the main idea or thought process behind Express Drive, why they thought it was okay to charge people way less, because it almost turned an Uber or a Lyft into a bus system, essentially, right? As opposed to, let's say, taking like an Uber car going this way, as opposed to, like, say, an Uber car, zigzagging, picking somebody up, because remember, it's Uber Pool as well, and then going back, and then zigzagging, picking somebody up, and going back. The idea is you can just do a straight shot, pick somebody up, pick somebody up, pick somebody up. So it almost turns that Uber or that Lyft into a bus system, right? Where there's less zigzagging, less going down side roads, and you maybe just stay on a main road and just pick people up who are on the side of the road. I do get that mentality, right? Like, it makes some sense, but I feel like with the birth of the order in advance feature that both Uber and Lyft have really kind of thrown out there, especially Lyft, right on their GUI, say, hey, wait 15 minutes as opposed to waiting 5 minutes, and it's cheaper. I actually think that kind of solves the need of this bus system issue. Yes, there is still some zigzagging, but I feel like given the algorithms that Uber and Lyft has now, I guess looking at things in a positive way from the pandemic, there was a massive shortage. We all knew this. I've done a bunch of videos about the shortage, and I feel like because of the shortage and because there were so few drivers, Uber and Lyft said, okay, we need to figure something out. How do we deal with this shortage issue of not a lot of drivers on the road and a lot of people wanting to take a Lyft and Uber? So they just say, hey, you know what? If you schedule in advance, even like say a half an hour in advance, we'll charge you less money because that allows us to optimize the route algorithmically and make it easier for them to pick you up, given where everyone else is, drop you off, and hopefully optimize their routes further so they can pick more people up. And it makes more sense, right? This is less kind of chaoticness for the driver. And I think, again, looking at that in a positive way, because now that is so popular, like honestly, almost every single time now I order a Lyft and Uber, I order it in advance. One, it's cheaper, but two, I think the biggest thing is the fact that I know it's almost guaranteed. You know, even right now at the time of this video, things have definitely gotten a lot better, don't get me wrong, but it still can be kind of tricky to get a Lyft and Uber now, you know? I mean, it's super random, you know? When I was in Vegas, never really had an issue for the most part, but there were some nights that I went to order it, and I was in a little bit of a rush, which was mostly my fault, and I was getting there late, and I couldn't get a Lyft and Uber, so we got to the point where I was like, you know what? Every single time, I'm just going to order a half an hour in advance. You know, what I'll do is I'll hit order on the half an hour, maybe get some work done, just have my phone out. If, like, say, the Lyft is ready in 5 or 10 minutes, great. If, like, say, it's going to take a half an hour to get there, no big deal. I'm kind of expecting that on the time. And I think that as a result of that feature becoming now so popular, the Express Drive and the Walk and Save feature, I don't think it's necessary at all. And not to mention, Uber Pool and Lyft Line, who knows when that's going to come back. I feel like Uber Pool and Lyft Line will definitely come back, if you want to be honest. I don't know when. It might be till 2023, at least at the time of this video. Who knows? When it comes to Express Drive, I hope it never comes back, because not only is it difficult as a driver doing Uber Pool and Lyft Line, but then when you add in this whole walking element to it, that people have to walk to a location for you to pick them up, then you drop them off at a location that they probably don't know. I mean, they might, but like say they don't know, you have to walk again. A lot of people are going to get mad at you, at the driver, when it's not even your fault. And that is one massive unfortunate thing about Express Drive. The fact that we now have the order in advance feature that's cheaper, and in my opinion is better for the algorithm,